Guys, what's going on? So it's been brought to my attention that the last video of this stuffed up halfway through, which kind of sucks, but that's my bad. I didn't realize. So thanks for letting me know. So let's get straight into it again so we can just smash it out because this is a super easy strategy and I really like doing it. So let's get straight into it. So if I had a sum that was 15 times 8, now that's a pretty tricky sum for me to do off the top of my head. So what we can do is we can make it we can change our numbers around to be a much easier sum. So if we double one side and halve the other, it'll be much easier. So if we obviously can't halve 15 because half of 15 would be 7.5 and 7.5 is working with decimals and we're only using whole numbers. So if we double 15, that brings us to 30, and we halve 8, which brings us down to 4. I know my 3 times tables. 3 times 4, that's 12. And if we bring our 0 down, that takes us to 120. So I know that 15 times 8 is equal to 120. All right, so let's have another go at that. So if I was to do 35 times 16, now that's a pretty tricky sum as well, but what we can do, we can make it much easier. We can go 70, because double 35 is 70, times 8. Now I know my 7 times tables pretty well. And 7 times 8, that equals 56 times, nope, sorry, don't need times because that's it. 57 times 8 is 56. Bring our 0 down, takes us to 560. So 35 times 16 is equal to 560. So one more one that we'll do, quickly get rid of this. One more one is an even harder one. So we can do 25 times 28. Now that gets pretty tricky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double 25 again, which takes us to 50. And if we halve 28, now it's pretty tricky. Half of 8 is 4, and half of 2 is 1, so 50 times 14. Now that's still a pretty hard sum in my eyes. So what I'm going to do, so that was the first time I did it, we can easily keep going and double and halve it again. So if I do it a second time, double 50, that's pretty simple. We're going to take that one up to 100. And if we halve that, half of 14 we know is 7. Look at that. That is a much easier sum. We can just do 7 times 1 is 7 and add our zeros down the bottom. Now I know that 25 times 8 equals 700. So that's pretty tricky. What I've got here is another little word problem for us to solve. So if Mr. Wicks goes to a Lakers game with 16 of his friends when they come to Brisbane, and each ticket costs $45, how much will I spend on tickets for my friends? So there's a fair bit of useless information here, but what we do know is each ticket costs 45 and I have 16 friends. So our sum is going to be 45 times 16. Now, what we can do, double and halve. So if we double 45, that takes us up to 90. And half of 16 is 8. So 9 times 8, I know that sum pretty well because I can do my 9 times tables. 9 times 8 is 72. And if we bring our 0 down, look at that. 3 steps and I'm done. That first step was just writing the sum. Then we made it a bit easier. Then we solved it. Nice. All right. So what I want you to do before class is I want you to solve a pretty tricky one, which is going to be 55 times 18. All right, I want you to solve that one and bring the solution into class for me. Good luck.